Hey guys, welcome back to the 2M Gaming Studios channel. This is Brandon. Um, Today I just want to be showing you my green circuit setup. This is part of the Beginners Basics tutorial series, and one of the things that you'll find as you progress through the game is you're going to be using a bunch of green circuits. So it's really good to put a little thought into the good setup as you progress. Last time I talked about my bus just a little bit. One of the things that I like to bus is actually green circuits. So you can see I've got these running up into other setups. So I'll go ahead and start walking through it. The ratio for green circuits is 3 to 2, so 3 um, copper cables to 2 green circuits. That produces, and you'll be, just chewing through copper as you start pumping these out. And these things make really fast. So half a second makes 2 of them. So was it 2 copper plates per second for each of these. And then this takes half a second to push one out, and it requires 3 copper cables and an iron plate. And one thing that I have changed from the last video, I've actually set up an automated assembler to give me these assembling machine 2s. If you've had a chance to research those, as soon as you can start making those, I'd suggest go ahead and just setting up a factory just for those, and I'll show you those in a probably the next video, that and maybe a couple other things. So all of these are actually assembling machine 2s. They have a well, I said that. I haven't actually gone to replace these. One thing too about these, no, they 0.75. So some of them are. That was my mistake. One thing about these is once you get ready to upgrade them, you can actually just go and just drop them right on top of what you already put down. So I just had some ones, but they actually have a 0.75 crafting speed compared to a 0.5 from the assembly machine 1. So it may sound like a little, but it actually adds up over time, that extra 0.25 crafting speed. So you can see here, you can run this as just as one side, knowing how many I'm going to use of these. I'm actually was setting mine up to run from 2 sides and pushing out to a central point, and then next to that point feeds out to my bus. So the way I've got this set up is I've got inserters, and you can see here I'm using fast inserters and basic. Once I get to a certain point, I pretty much just set up an assembler to make fast inserters, which I'll cover in probably the next video, to replace my normal inserters just for the speed. And to be honest with you, once you get set up, it's actually it's not that hard to keep these things replaced. So you can see here I'm just kind of going in and feeding them in. So I'm running 2 per machine, and then I'm actually pushing out 2 per machine into my green circuits. Now once you get up here, it gets just a little bit tricky. I'll zoom in so you can kind of see it. I've got an underground right here, and on top of the underground I'm actually grabbing inserters. I'm grabbing iron to push into here. Then with the right next to them, I'm actually for my output, I'm doing the green circuit onto this cable, which is feeding in here. This is basically just the a line running here, a line running going this direction, and then down to the underground, which feeds out to the bus. This piece right here is just to tie it to my next set, so I'll go through that in just a second. And you can see here, in order to get to my next set, I'm running this underground from here to here, and on top of this is how I'm getting iron into my green circuits. I'm running this line over, and then basically just mirror my exact same setup, especially for iron. Just mirror this setup right here, go from end to end, and then you're grabbing from your undergrounds to put iron into your green circuit assemblers. And then same thing right next to those, I've got the output for the green circuits pushing on the here. Again, it's going from here to here, here to here, and then up to my underground, and it runs over. So, and you can see how it got like a weave. So all I'll really do on this next one is once I go get ready to set it up, I'll have it receiving from the right, and then a cable. Oops, let me turn that around. And that'll be pushing that way. So you can see it kind of makes that weave, and then I'll just kind of like I did from here to here, I'll do it from this side. So it just switches sides, so you just go back and forth. And then this design will let you run from two sides, pushing out to a central belt, and you can run this thing out as far as you want. The one thing I am running two copper lines, one on this side, one on this side, but I'm only having to run one iron down the middle. We'll see how it kind of keeps up. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of these wiped out, just so you can kind of see it in action. And you see it keeps up pretty good. Ideally you'll see this thing running wide open all the time, but it doesn't always work that way. And sometimes too, as you get closer and you see these things start filling up, these things will run slower. So like this one, all the way at the end, it's running wide open, which is good. That's a good sign. Actually getting a little build up, because now it's full, so that's good. So there you go, and this actually feeds both sides of the belt too, and it should do it somewhat evenly. It's not the perfect setup, but it should feed both sides of the belt, so you'll run a double. And here, I don't know if you need this or not. This was I was noticing this side was filling up just a little bit faster, so I was actually ran a splitter and then combined it onto this side. That way I was making sure as it went down the line it was going to be nice and compressed and running both sides like that. So like I said, you don't have to do that, and as this thing speeds up, it's probably not necessary, but it's just something I noticed at the time, so I added that splitter and pushed more to one side just to even it out. So okay, well, hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, please come back. I'll be continuing this beginner basics series. Drop a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.